All right, so good morning. So you have exercise 9 and exercise 10 left in geometry, and for the most part, I haven't checked these yet, but I'm fixing to in just a second. But I was just going to do this video right quick so you could have it, this morning because I have to still upload it. So anyway, so exercise 9 is just basically taking some Play-Doh or clay and making these objects, but you don't have to do that, not unless you just want to. And it also suggests making flashcards with each one of, a picture of each one so you can know. I mean, of course, when you're little, you learn square, rectangle, circle, blah, blah. Okay, so as you're older, you learn about geometric solids that are 3D, like you can just hold it. Okay, so if you look on page 320, there's a list of them there. These are just your common geometric solids. You've got your cube, like a Rubik's Cube, that you turn on, make the colors and try to get the colors on one side. That's cube. It's where it's got six shaped faces. And then you have sphere, like this, the globe behind me. That's a sphere. It's like a ball, a volleyball. Rectangular solid would be like a tissue box, or even a book is a rectangular solid. It just basically, a rectangular solid means that it has rectangular faces, 6 faces. Faces are the flat surfaces of your objects. So a pyramid, you know what that is. A cone, ice cream cone. A cylinder, like a can of green beans. It's got 2 flat faces, one on the top and one on the bottom, and they're round. They're round faces. And then you've got the curved, round part there. So, don't drop to my pen. Let's see. So anyway, page 321 says to go ahead and just make those, take pictures of them. I don't have enough ink for that. So anyway, so we'll just kind of skip that part. Just wanted to go over those with you. So now look at page 322. This is exercise 10. Now there's 3 pages to it. So I'm going to kind of go over it with you a little bit. And then when you're finished with this, you can take your quiz. I've already printed it out. But your quiz is it's one of those oral narration quizzes. There's 10 things on here. The last thing says use your 3D shape models or flashcards to explain each one. Obviously, you're not going to do that because you're not going to have flashcards. So you probably will have to sit and do this with me. Basically, what you're doing on this, I'm still going to count it worth 10 points, even though you can't see number 10. But what you're going to do is, I'm going to tell you, hey, draw this, draw that. Explain to me why this is whatever. So you'll have to explain to me those things, okay? All right, so look at the top, page 322. It says to draw them, 1 through 4. So number 1, draw a point and label it. Okay, a point and label it. Anytime it says label it, it means give it a number. So we're going to label this. Not a number, a letter. We're going to label that point A. You can do any point letter you would like. That's what that means. Number 2, draw a line through these points and then name it. So there's an A and a B on your page, a point A and a point B. Okay, and it wants you to use the edge of your protractor, a straight edge, a ruler or something, and draw a line from A to B. That is a line segment. Okay, so just draw a line. And then it says, name that line segment. Now, for some reason, or you can name it BA, it doesn't matter. For some reason, this book doesn't teach this, but in every geometry book I've ever taught, every geometry class I've ever taught, they always tell you to label it with a line segment on top of it. So you know this is referring to line segment AB. So that's how you'll label it on number 2, line segment AB. Number 3, draw a segment with these points as endpoints and name it. Oh, wait, number 2 said line, didn't it? Okay, I didn't read. Okay, so that would be line AB. difference between line and a line segment. Lines go on in both directions. That's what those arrows mean. A segment would just be a piece of the line. So number 3, draw a segment. So you'll just draw a line between O and P, and then you're going to label it, name it, segment. And I've already got the word segment there, but it's just a line over the letters. OP. Always use uppercase letters. And it can be PO or OP, it doesn't matter. But this is the symbol for line, and this is the symbol for line segment. And I don't know why this book doesn't teach that, because that's right. All right, now it says explain the difference between a line and a segment. We've already done that, so you can just check mark number 4. All right, number 5, draw a line through points D and E. So there's D and E, draw a line through those. And then a line through E and F. Now, what did that make? It made an angle. Did you make an angle? Remember, 2 line segments that meet together form an angle. All right, so let me get my book to the right area so I know I'm doing this right. Okay, so you made an angle on number 5, so write that down. Number 6 says, on the angle in problem 5, label the vertex. That means just wherever the vertex is, draw a line to it and write vertex. That's showing me that you know what the vertex is. You know, vertex is the middle point where they come together. So you should have drawn an arrow and said that E is the vertex. Okay, number 7. Let me erase all this. Number 7, let's label the angles. Okay, so remember, there's actually 3 different ways you can label angles. Remember, you have to use this for the symbol for angle. They don't teach you to use the symbols, like the lines over the AB and all that, but I want you to learn that because that's what most all of them teach. So number 7, the name of this angle would be angle EDC, angle CDE, or angle D. You can name them three different names. You can name them just by the vertex, angle, whatever the vertex is. You can name, and then you can go this way or this way. It doesn't matter as long as the vertex is always in the middle. So name it wherever you want to name it on number 7. Now, the type of angle that is a right angle. Romeo, it's a right angle. So you know the measurement. Romeo, you cannot sit on the book. So the measurement is 90 degrees. All right, so let's do the same for 8. Okay, the name of it could be angle B. It could be angle ABC or angle CBA. Either one. Romeo, you doofus. Would you quit? It's knocking everything over. If you break that, you're in trouble. All right. So the type of angle is acute on number 8 because you can tell it's smaller than 90 degrees. So why don't you try and measure that angle and see about what you get. I'm just going to give you a hint. I should give you the answer. You should get 60 degrees. So line it up to where it shows 60 degrees. And that's the correct way to do it. So go ahead and write 60 degrees on that. Okay, number 9. Name the angle. Well, they didn't give you any letters. So you can, actually in my book it doesn't even say to give it letters. Oh my gosh. It says to just label it with this thing. Give it letters. Just put letters at those points and then just label it one of those names. Okay. Then measure it and tell what kind it is. I mean, you probably, if you haven't measured it yet, you might want to pause it because I'm fixing to give you the answer. Okay, so if you've already measured that one, you might have measured it 90 degrees. It's not a perfect angle. It's just less than a perfect right angle. It's about 99. You may have put 100, or even 95. That would be okay too. But it's exactly 99 degrees. So if you got it within 5, one way or the other, then you're good. Well, it wouldn't have been less than 90, but all right. Now, if you are unclear as to how to measure these angles, you need to tell me so that I can show you, okay? Because I can't really show you on here. All right, let's look at number 10. How long is segment MN? All right, so we have an entire segment. We have an entire segment which is L through O. So this is O. It's so hard to make a point. L. And then we have M. And then we have N. Oh, gracious. N. Okay. All right, so we know that from here to here, the entire segment is 9 inches. That's the whole thing. Okay? All right. So we know that L to M is 4 inches. We know that N to O is 2 inches. Romeo, don't touch the coffee. All right. So the question is, what is M to N? Okay. Remember, the whole thing's 9. Okay. So if this is 4 and this is 2, how much is that? That's 6. So what's left to be? What would this be? Understand? I hope you do. If you don't, you need to let me know. Romeo, I can't see the page. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, if you don't understand that, you need to let me know because that's important. All right, let's move on to the next page. 323. Find the perimeter and area of each. All right, so there's two problems on number 11. Romeo, get your foot off the keyboard. All right. Now, I want you to remember, and I'm going to have you do, Romeo, quit. You're going to knock that off. I'm going to have you do this yourself, and then I'll give you the answers, okay? So remember, perimeter is around the outside. You just add it up. Area is like an area rug. You got to figure out inside. That first one is a square. That in itself is your clue. The next one is a rectangle, so that in itself is your clue. So pause it and see if you can find the perimeter and area. Turn it back on, I'll give you the answers. Okay, so the perimeter of the square, the perimeter would be 12 inches. The area would be 9 square inches. Don't forget when you do area, you've got to put square, SQ, square inches. Because remember, area is figuring the inside, how many squares would fit on the inside. All right, the perimeter of the rectangle would be 16 inches. The area would be 12 square inches. Okay, if you're not sure, if you got those wrong, you need to say, hey, Mom, what did I do wrong? But basically, when it's area, you multiply the length times the width. That's basically what you do. When it's perimeter, you just add up all the sides. That's all you do. Okay? All right, so number 12, find the perimeter of that shape. And it says, well, first it says to find the missing lengths and then find the total perimeter. So hold on, I got to pause this because I got to go wake you up. Okay, so find the perimeter, but first find the missing lengths. Okay, so don't let this fool you. It's really not that hard. So okay, so I'm going to try and draw. Romeo's watching this. Okay. Okay. So I'm not going to put inches. I'm just going to put the numbers. Okay, so there's 2. This is 8. I haven't graded those yet. This is 7. And this is 4. Well, these are inches. Okay, so it wants us to figure out what this is. Okay, well, this is pretty easy. Now, this is the same as this. Okay, all right. And then this is going to be this. Okay, so this whole thing here is 7. The whole thing is. Okay, but this part would be, well, this part, which is not there, would be 2. Okay, so if this whole thing right here, this would be 7, right? Like this. Okay, but it's not the whole thing like this is. So what do you think this would be? Just this portion. This portion's 2. The whole thing is 7, just like this. But this portion's 2 and it's not there. So what is that? Be 5 inches. Because this would be 5 and this would be 2. Together it would be 7. Okay? Alright. Now that we know the missing length, we have to find the perimeter. So add them all up. That's all you do on perimeter. So add it all up. Alright, number 12, then the perimeter would be 30 inches. Alright, 30 inches. Alright, let us then label these polygons on numbers 13 through 16. So count the sides. Polygons, remember, those are closed objects made by line segments. So they're named by the number of line segments. So how many line segments on number 13? That would be 5. Okay, the number that means 5 is penta. So it is a pentagon. I have not graded any of those yet because I just started this. Pentagon. All right, number 14. All right, now you just look at it and you go, oh, that's a rectangle. And it is a rectangle, but we're naming these polygons. Okay, so it is remember, polygons are named by the number of their sides. So there's 4 sides, so it is a quadrilateral. Okay, quad meaning 4. Lateral meaning lines. That's all it means. Quad is 4, lateral means lines. Number 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Do you know what means 8? Octagon is 8. 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sides. 6 sides is hexagon or hexagon. Okay. Now these, you might say, we haven't done these in a long time. Well, that's true. These are things that you just should know. So penta is 5, oct is 8, hexa is 6, hepta is 7. These are just things that we should know. All right, number 17. Oh, by the way, these are Greek prefixes. Number 17, label the types of triangles. So the type on number 17 is a right. It's a right triangle. Number 18, or well, the second one on number 17 would be equilateral. And the last one would be acute. Well, also the second one would be acute. It shows in my book they'd both be acute because they're both less than 90, but the one in the middle looks like equilateral, so either one of those would work. Okay, so let's go to the next page. All right, number 18, label the types of lines. All right, the first set are, just like railroad tracks, they are parallel. All right, the second one, they form perfect right angles, so they are perpendicular. Don't forget those. The last set are simply intersecting lines. They just intersect. All right. Number 19, on this circle, label the center point and then draw and label the radius, the diameter, and the circumference. All right. So, all right, so we're going to label the center point. I'm going to label it Z just because. All right. And then it says draw and label the radius. Now I'm going to use different colors, but you don't have to. Okay, remember the radius is half the circle. It says draw and label the radius. So that would have to be a line segment from the center to one edge. So I'm going to name this, the radius is ZA. All right. Then it says to draw and label the diameter. Okay, it can go any way. Well, it goes through it. I'm going to label this B. So the diameter is BZA or AZB, either way. That's the diameter. Then it says draw and label the circumference. Well, this is how you do that. Remember the circumference? The circumference is basically the perimeter of the circle. And so that would be your circumference. You can do it in different colors if you want to. You don't have to. And if it would help you, you can even write radius, diameter, circumference, if it would help you to remember those things. You got to remember those things. All right, so number 20 says use your noodle, draw a doodle. And it says to draw these 3D shapes. I'm going to leave that to you because you are the drawer of the family, the artiste. So you can do that if you want to. You don't have to, but you can. Okay, so that finishes this chapter over geometry. So now you're going to do tomorrow. You can do your quiz. I would like to sit down with you to do it because I do need you to explain it to me. So we'll have to find a time that I can sit down and actually do it with you. Okay? And then Monday we'll start on maps and the next exercise. Okay? That's all for today.